Welcome back. So, 12 Easter eggs you missed in Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 4, Part 1. Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 4 is packed with hidden details, deep cut callbacks, and some seriously clever MCU connection. The episode leans heavily into Bullseye story, and the Easter eggs reflect in that in a really interesting way. Let's break down the details which you have missed. First, the Marvel Studios logo. This time it appears in blue instead of the usual red. That's not random. The episode is heavily centered around Bullseye, and throughout the show, his scenes are often drenched in blue lighting. It's a subtle but smart visual clue that sets the tone right from the start. Next, we have the Bel Air Diner in Queens. This is actually a real location, but in the MCU, that opens up fun possibilities. Since we are in Queens, this is technically Spider Man territory. There's a good chance Peter Parker has been here before or could show up in the future. It's a small detail, but it connects Daredevil's world to the wider MCU in a grounded way. Then comes a surprising deep callback, Bullseye's banana milkshake. This might be seem like a random order, but fans of Netflix Daredevil series will remember that Bullseye had banana flavored protein powder in his apartment back in season 3. That tiny detail now comes full circle. It's especially interesting because Born Again wasn't originally supposed to connect this closely to the Netflix show. Now let's talk about a big name drop, Frank Castle aka the Punisher. Bullseye casually mentions him to trigger a fast response from authorities. This ties directly into Kingpin's strategy from season 1, where he used Punisher's violent reputation to justify cracking down on vigilantes. Even though Punisher hasn't appeared yet this season, the show keeps his presence alive, and that's like setting up bigger things ahead. Next, Bullseye calling himself one of the good guys. After causing absolute chaos in the diner, this line feels completely unhinged, but it actually mirrors the comics where Bullseye temporarily joins teams like Thunderbolts and even poses as Hawkeye in the Dark Avenger. He never truly redeemed, but he convinces himself that he is. The show seems to be building towards a similar arc, and finally, we get the classic Marvel theme power and responsibility through White Tiger. Matt Murdock questions Angela Del Toro about whether she understands the responsibility of wearing the amulet. That line instantly echoes Spider Man's core philosophy. It's another subtle reminder that the street level heroes exist in the same moral universe, and honestly, it makes Daredevil and Spider Man team up feel long overdue. Starting with Fogwell's gym, the location is incredibly important to Matt Murdock's past. It's where his father trained as a boxer and where Matt spent much of his childhood. Seeing it again, especially with flashbacks from the Netflix series, ties Born Again directly to that earlier story. It's not just fan service, it reinforces Matt's emotional roots. Next, a subtle but meaningful detail, the New York State seal featuring Excelsior. This appears during Vanessa Fisk's scene with the governor. Excelsior is, of course, famously associated with Stanley. While it's technically the real state motto, in a Marvel project it's impossible to ignore the tribute. It's a quiet nod to the legacy behind all of this. Then we get a mythological comparison. Vanessa and Wilson Fisk as Europa and White Bull. This references the Greek myth where Zeus transformed into White Bull to win Europa. In the show, it reflects the dynamic between Vanessa and Fisk, power, control, and manipulation. Vanessa claiming she can manage Fisk adds an extra layer to that symbolism. Now back to Matt and the Clinton Church. This is where he grew up and it's deeply tied to his identity. Returning here shows that Matt is searching for guidance again. We also learn that Bullseye has been asking about Sister Maggie, Matt's mother, who is currently away in Rome. That connection could become very important moving forward. Then there's Bullseye's headphones. At first glance, it's just a visual detail, but in the Netflix series, he used recordings of therapy sessions to stay mentally stable. Seeing him with headphones again, Sagal, he's still trying and failing to control his instability. It's a subtle but powerful character cue, and finally, a fun comparison, Kingpin's weight. In the episode, Fisk is announced at 325 pounds. In the comics, is typically around 450 pounds. The show tones this down for realism but still keeps the idea that Fisk is an absolute physical force. It's a small detail but one that comic fans will definitely notice. And that's wrap up all the Easter eggs from episode 4. The episode does a great job blending past and present, pulling from the Netflix era comic history and the wider MCU, all while pushing the story forward. Thank you for watching. Bye.